their debut in the 1940s, nuclear bombs have been an imminent threat that has been hovering over the United States, as well as many other countries relentlessly. These great instruments of destruction have created many controversies, and few agree upon the proper methods to deal with their presence. Many argue that nuclear reserves are necessary for national defense. However, others view them as an unwarranted danger to humanity. On August 6 and 9, 1945, the first and last bombings during wartime were implemented in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. These bombings were conducted by the United States in an effort to put a final end to World War II. After demanding unconditional surrender of the Japanese armed forces, the United States threatened to attack and reap prompt and utter destruction upon Japan and its people. After the completion of the Manhattan Project, developing the first nuclear bombs, Little Boy and Fat Man, the United States kept their word and attacked. Due to the bombing in Hiroshima, 90,000 to 166,000 people were killed, half on the first day. In Nagasaki, 60,000 to 80,000 people were killed, also half on the first day. After this occurrence, many people died from the burns received, radiation sickness, injuries, and illness. This horrific event, inflicted by our own nation for the betterment of the world, reflects the deep injustices that this great power can impose. A large majority of the casualties of this attack were innocent, unsuspecting civilians. While it is true that this act brought about the surrender of Japan just days after, one must consider the proportion of innocent deaths to the ethical justifications. Additionally, with increases in technology in our modern era, leaders must consider the great power that our nuclear weapons have at this time in comparison to the mid-20th century. There are two types of nuclear weapons: atomic bombs and hydrogen bombs. Atomic bombs were the first fission bombs created, with released energy during explosions equivalent to approximately 20,000 tons of TNT. Hydrogen bombs, on the other hand, were the first hydronuclear bombs and released similar amounts of energy to 10 million tons of TNT. Both types of bombs release this energy, and by doing so, create an intense increase in temperature and pressure. All materials present are then transformed to hot, compressed gases. The surrounding temperature forces the gases to expand quickly, forming a pressurized wave, otherwise known as a shock wave. This sort of explosion is characterized by a very strong wind, much like that of a sudden impact. This is where their primary destructive action resides. The secondary mode of destruction is the radiation during and after nuclear explosions. The atomic particles that make up nuclear radiation travel near the speed of light. With such great force, these particles are able to flood deep into the human body, damaging biological cells, creating cancer, or even sex cells, causing genetic diseases. However, the genetic risks are far lower than the cancerous risks. In addition to the risks that come with actual nuclear attacks, there are great risks that come with radioactive waste. Waste must be kept separate from human contact for extended periods of time. High-level waste is converted into rock-like substances and kept among other rocks deep underground. However, this method is not adequate for handling long-lived radioactive wastes. This method lends risks to leaking radioactive waste from underground reserves and seeping into groundwater throughout the nation. There are very few benefits to this nuclear security blanket the United States and many other nations have been keeping close to them. With 36,000 nuclear weapons spread throughout the world, entire communities are at risk of being wiped out within seconds at the whim of political leaders. Nuclear proliferation puts our national security, as well as the security of the planet, in jeopardy. At any moment, terrorists could obtain the materials to build their own weapons and kill millions of Americans. This great threat must be taken care of. The end to nuclear proliferation and destruction of present nuclear bombs must become a goal within the next few years. Additionally, people must become active citizens by raising nuclear awareness. This will lead to greater efforts to reduce the nuclear threat. However, this is a world effort. The United States and its citizens cannot go into this battle against nuclear power alone. That being said, it would be unwise to disarm every nuclear bomb in an ingenious effort to lead by example. It is important to dismantle as many as possible while still maintaining a defense system coinciding with our allies until all the world has been made a safe home again without the risk of terrorist attacks or a further Cold War.